Homelessness is not just a social issue, it is a growing global crisis. Even in some of the world's most developed nations, like those in Europe, homelessness is an issue that continues to rise sharply. Despite their advanced social systems, many European countries are struggling to provide basic housing for all their citizens. Every day, millions of individuals face challenges like the lack of safe shelter, harsh living conditions, and inadequate social and economic policies. In this video, we'll explore some of the European countries with the highest rates of homelessness. This isn't just about statistics. It's a deeper look at the lives affected, the systemic issues fueling this crisis, and the steps we must take toward lasting solutions. Join us as we uncover the reality behind the numbers and discuss how we can work together to create a future where everyone has a place to call home. The crisis in Belgium. Belgium, a nation known for its charming cities and cultural heritage, is facing a grim reality. Over the past 3 years, homelessness has surged to alarming levels. It's estimated that more than 20,000 people in Belgium are forced to sleep outdoors or seek refuge in temporary shelters. However, this figure only scratches the surface, as countless others, those couch surfing with friends or family, are left out of the official statistics. Why is this happening? The growing gap between incomes and living costs is a key factor. Low-wage workers find it increasingly difficult to afford rising rents and basic necessities. Financial instability caused by sudden events, such as job losses or medical emergencies, leaves many with no safety net. Vulnerable groups, particularly women and children, make up a significant portion of the homeless population. Around 1/3 of Belgium's homeless are women, and 1/4 are children, a heartbreaking reality in a modern nation. Despite efforts by authorities to provide temporary shelters, the solutions remain insufficient. Thousands are still on waiting lists, and the harsh winter months bring life-threatening challenges, with temperatures often dropping below 7 degrees. Survival becomes a daily struggle. Yet, amidst these challenges, stories of humanity and kindness shine through. In Brussels, a 7-meter-long caravan has been transformed into a mobile shower facility for the homeless. This initiative, run by volunteers, offers hot showers, clean clothes, and even basic medications to those in need. It's a small but meaningful effort to restore dignity and hope. However, these temporary measures are not enough. Belgium needs long-term, comprehensive solutions that address the root causes of homelessness. Social reintegration programs and stable job opportunities must be prioritized. By learning from other nations that have successfully tackled homelessness, Belgium can begin to pave the way for a brighter future for its most vulnerable citizens. The hidden struggles in Sweden, often held as a global example of welfare and equality, faces its own harsh realities when it comes to homelessness. As of 2023, around 27,400 individuals in Sweden were without stable housing. These are not just people sleeping on the streets. They include families living in temporary shelters, individuals relying on the goodwill of friends, and others pushed to the edges of society. What causes this in a country with one of the world's best social support systems? Real estate prices in major cities like Stockholm and Gothenburg have skyrocketed. Meanwhile, the supply of social housing has remained insufficient to meet the rising demand. Immigrants and low-income families in particular are among the hardest hit. In Sweden, even rental apartments are increasingly built for the upper market, with prices far outpacing what the average worker can afford. Architects and urban planners are hesitant to build high-density housing due to Sweden's traditional preference for preserving its scenic urban environments. This makes it even harder for the government to keep up with demand. Despite these challenges, hope persists. Non-governmental organizations, local communities, and volunteers have stepped in to offer temporary shelters, warm meals, and even educational and employment opportunities for the homeless. These initiatives go beyond basic aid, helping restore hope and rebuild lives. Sweden's homelessness problem highlights an essential truth. Even in nations with advanced welfare systems, economic challenges and policy gaps can leave people behind. Comprehensive housing policies and improved access to affordable homes remain crucial steps toward addressing this issue. Ireland's growing concern. Ireland, often admired for its green landscapes and rich cultural heritage, is battling a growing homelessness crisis. In just 1 year, homelessness has surged by 14%. with approximately 14,000 individuals reported homeless as of April 2024. This figure, however, only accounts for those accessing emergency housing services or temporary shelters, leaving many more unrecorded. The causes of homelessness in Ireland are complex and deeply intertwined with rising housing costs. Rental prices in cities like Dublin have skyrocketed, making it increasingly difficult for families and individuals to afford basic accommodations. Women, children, and the elderly are disproportionately affected, with many forced into overcrowded shelters or precarious living arrangements. Behind each number lies a heartbreaking story. Families torn apart by financial struggles, children growing up in instability, and individuals who have lost everything. A Dublin mother shared, "I never thought we'd end up here. My children deserve better, but every door seems to be closing on us." The Irish government has made commitments to address the housing crisis, pledging to build more affordable homes and provide greater social support. However, the pace of change remains slow, and many feel the policies fall short of addressing the urgency of the situation. Local charities and non-governmental organizations have stepped in to fill the gaps, providing food, clothing, and temporary shelters. But as homelessness continues to rise, these efforts are not enough. Ireland's crisis reminds us that no nation, no matter how prosperous, is immune to the challenges of homelessness. Bold and immediate action is needed to ensure a future where no family is left without a home. The impact of rising costs across Europe, one unifying factor behind homelessness is the relentless rise in living costs. Countries like Germany, Sweden, and Ireland have seen skyrocketing rental prices that far outpace wage growth. For middle and low-income families, the dream of homeownership or even affordable rent is becoming increasingly unattainable. This disparity is forcing thousands into precarious living situations, temporary shelters, or worse, onto the streets. The global financial crisis of 2008 triggered waves of economic instability, leaving many European nations struggling to recover. Even in countries with strong economies such as Germany and Sweden, the ripple effects of these crises continue to be felt. Rising real estate values, lack of public housing investments, and stagnant wages have turned housing into a privilege rather than a right. But homelessness isn't just a number or an economic statistic. It's about real people, real lives disrupted by circumstances beyond their control. Families, children, elderly individuals, and even working professionals are finding themselves on the brink of homelessness. For them, every day is a fight to stay afloat. The role of community and government initiatives. Amidst these challenges, local communities and nonprofit organizations have stepped up to fill the void where government efforts fall short. From mobile shower units in Belgium to shelters providing education and job opportunities in Sweden, grassroots movements are making a difference. These initiatives remind us that compassion and collective action can bring hope, even in the darkest times. However, lasting change will require systemic solutions. Governments must focus on expanding affordable housing, reforming rental markets, and implementing policies that prioritize the most vulnerable members of society. Collaborative efforts between public and private sectors, along with international support, will be crucial in addressing this crisis effectively. The role of economic instability in homelessness. One of the significant drivers of homelessness across Europe is economic instability. The global financial crisis of 2008, followed by the economic shocks of the COVID-19 pandemic, has left many nations struggling to recover. For individuals and families on the margins, these events have been catastrophic. With wages stagnating and housing costs skyrocketing, more people find themselves unable to keep up with basic expenses, including rent. Take Germany, for instance. Despite being Europe's largest economy, many of its cities are grappling with severe housing shortages. In Berlin, rental prices have surged by over 40% in the past decade, making it nearly impossible for low-income families to afford adequate housing. Similarly, in Latvia, rapid economic changes have left large portions of the population behind, with thousands forced into precarious living conditions. The human stories behind the numbers. Beyond the statistics are real people facing unimaginable hardships. In Ireland, a single mother shared her story. "I never thought I'd be in this position, struggling to keep a roof over my children's heads. Every month feels like a battle I'm losing." In Sweden, an immigrant family described the difficulty of integrating into society while facing housing discrimination and exorbitant rents. "We came here for a better future, but every door seems closed to us," the father explained. These stories underscore that homelessness is not just a policy issue, but a human tragedy that demands empathy and action. Solutions that work. Lessons from success stories. While the crisis is daunting, there are success stories to inspire hope. Finland, for example, has implemented the Housing First model, which prioritizes providing permanent housing to those in need before addressing other issues like employment or mental health. This approach has significantly reduced homelessness in Finland and could serve as a blueprint for other nations. Similarly, nonprofit organizations across Europe are stepping in where governments fall short. In Slovakia, community-driven initiatives provide temporary housing and job training programs, helping individuals reintegrate into society. In Belgium, the mobile shower project in Brussels is not just about hygiene, but also about restoring dignity to those living on the streets. The path forward. To address homelessness effectively, European nations need to adopt comprehensive strategies. This includes increasing the supply of affordable housing, implementing rent controls, and expanding social welfare programs. Governments must also focus on long-term solutions, such as job creation, mental health services, and addiction treatment, to tackle the root causes of homelessness. Collaboration between public and private sectors will be crucial. Real estate developers, nonprofit organizations, and local governments must work together to create sustainable housing solutions. International cooperation and knowledge sharing can also accelerate progress, as countries learn from successful models like Finland's. A shared responsibility. Homelessness is not just the responsibility of governments or nonprofits. It's a challenge that requires collective action. As individuals, we can contribute by supporting charities, volunteering our time, or simply raising awareness about the issue. Together, we can create a world where no one is left without a place to call home. Thank you for staying with us on this journey to understand and address homelessness. Your voice matters. What solutions do you think could help solve this crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth discussions on critical global issues. We'll see you in the next episode. The broader implications of homelessness in Europe. Homelessness doesn't only affect individuals, it has far-reaching consequences for entire societies. Economically, the strain on social welfare systems, healthcare, and public services increases as more people lack stable housing. Homeless individuals often experience chronic health issues due to harsh living conditions, leading to higher healthcare costs. Additionally, the inability to participate in the workforce further deepens the cycle of poverty and dependence on social aid. Socially, homelessness exacerbates inequality and creates divisions within communities. Public spaces in major cities like Paris, Berlin, and Dublin are increasingly occupied by makeshift shelters and tents, sparking debates about the rights of the homeless versus the needs of urban residents and businesses. This visible crisis serves as a stark reminder of the systemic failures that lead to such disparity in a developed continent like Europe. Hope amidst challenges. Despite the grim statistics, there are reasons to be hopeful. Across Europe, innovative initiatives are emerging to combat homelessness. In Finland, for instance, the Housing First model has been revolutionary. By prioritizing permanent housing over temporary solutions, Finland has successfully reduced long-term homelessness. This approach emphasizes stability first, allowing individuals to focus on finding jobs, accessing healthcare, and rebuilding their lives. Similarly, non-profit organizations in countries like Germany and Slovakia are making strides in providing targeted support. From job training programs to mental health services, these efforts are helping individuals transition out of homelessness and reintegrate into society. These initiatives demonstrate the power of collaboration between governments, private sectors, and community organizations. What can be done? As citizens, we each have a role to play in addressing homelessness. Supporting charities, volunteering at shelters, or simply raising awareness can create meaningful change. On a larger scale, pushing for policy reforms and holding governments accountable are essential steps. Homelessness is not inevitable. It is a solvable crisis when met with compassion, resources, and commitment. The long-term impacts of homelessness. Homelessness is not just a temporary struggle. It has long-term consequences for individuals and society as a whole. For individuals, prolonged exposure to harsh living conditions can lead to severe physical and mental health issues. Chronic illnesses, malnutrition, and stress-related disorders are common among homeless populations. Mental health conditions, such as anxiety and depression, are exacerbated by the lack of stability, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. For children growing up in homelessness, the impact is even more devastating. Studies show that children who experience homelessness are more likely to struggle academically, face social isolation, and encounter health challenges throughout their lives. In countries like Slovakia and Latvia, where child homelessness is alarmingly high, these consequences affect not just individuals but future generations. At a societal level, homelessness places a significant burden on public resources. Emergency shelters, healthcare services, and welfare systems are often stretched thin, requiring governments to allocate substantial funds to address immediate needs. However, without long-term solutions, these efforts become a recurring expense rather than an investment in sustainable change. What can be learned from successful models? While homelessness remains a persistent issue across Europe, some countries have implemented effective solutions that could serve as examples. Finland's Housing First model is one such success story. This approach provides individuals with permanent housing before addressing other challenges, such as unemployment or mental health. By giving people a stable foundation, Finland has seen a significant decrease in long-term homelessness. In Germany, cities like Hamburg have started pilot programs to repurpose vacant buildings into affordable housing units. These programs not only provide shelter, but also create opportunities for employment in construction and renovation, helping individuals reintegrate into society. Community-driven initiatives are also making a difference. In Sweden, local organizations are offering education and skills training programs specifically designed for homeless individuals, empowering them to secure jobs and regain independence. These programs highlight the importance of addressing homelessness not just as a housing issue, but as a multifaceted problem requiring economic, social, and psychological support. Steps toward a brighter future. To tackle homelessness comprehensively, governments and communities must adopt a multi-pronged approach. First, increasing the supply of affordable housing is essential. This includes building new housing units and repurposing unused buildings, as seen in some successful pilot projects. Governments must also implement policies to regulate rental prices and prevent housing speculation, ensuring that housing remains accessible to low-income families. Second, addressing the root causes of homelessness, such as unemployment, mental health issues, and substance abuse, is critical. Expanding access to job training programs, affordable health care, and addiction recovery services can help individuals overcome the challenges that led to their homelessness in the first place. Finally, fostering a sense of community and solidarity is crucial. Homelessness is often accompanied by social stigma, which isolates individuals further. By creating programs that emphasize social reintegration, such as community centers and mentorship programs, we can help individuals feel connected and supported as they rebuild their lives. A message of hope. While the statistics may seem overwhelming, the solutions are within reach. Across Europe, from Belgium to Slovakia, there are countless examples of people coming together to address homelessness with compassion and creativity. Governments, nonprofits, and everyday citizens all have a role to play in building a future where everyone has a place to call home. This is not just about fixing a problem. It's about restoring dignity, hope, and opportunity to those who need it most. Together, we can create a Europe where homelessness becomes a thing of the past. Thank you for watching this in-depth discussion on homelessness in Europe. What solutions do you think are most effective in tackling this issue? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful discussions on global challenges. We'll see you in the next episode.